Yeah, we're live.
Okay, so do you want to wait a few minutes just to give everyone a chance to sort of log on?
Yeah, we should.
Okay. Uh, Anjali, you know, are we recording this or are we supposed to record it?
I
Oh,
think
you're
it
muted.
records automatically, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so maybe if we try to get started at 12:05, I think that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess it's almost 12:05, so we could probably get started. Anjali and I will just quickly introduce ourselves and then tell you guys what the game plan is for today. So
Mm-hmm.
both of us are Repl.it Reps, and so we're users of Replit who are working to sort of broaden the Replit community by getting more people on Replit and more people aware of all of Replit's cool features. So my name is Rohan. I live in New Jersey on the east coast of the US. And I'm super interested in learning about new programming languages, which is one of the things we're going to be doing today. So I'm really excited about that. And then I'll just hand it over to Anjali.
Hello, so my name is Anjali. I live in Canada in Ontario, and I I am currently learning how to do Python and like learning different languages. So Replit is like helping me to like um, to like learn how to use Python, and it's been like a great it's been a great workspace to work on, and I want to share with the community and stuff. So that's why I'm a Replit rep and I applied to be one. And yeah.
Yeah, so what we're going to be doing today is using this cool platform called Exorcism. And
Mm-hmm.
Exorcism it's spelled with an E, not an O, not exorcism. Exorcism is this like large database of programming exercises in all these different languages. So what we're going to try and do today is have everyone attempt a new language that they've never used before on Exorcism and solve as many problems as they can. So because of that, we're going to try and limit any use of Python, C, Java, C++, JavaScript, very common languages. Of course, if you don't know those languages and you want to give one of those a try, that's fine. But we would really encourage you to use some of Replit's more out there languages like Clojure, Rust, Haskell. These languages are a bit more difficult, but there are a lot of super easy resources you can just Google, and with a problem that you're trying to solve, it will give you a bit more direction. So we're going to see who can solve the most exorcism problems in a language they haven't used before. So the first thing you need to do is go to Exorcism and sign up and create an account, preferably with GitHub. But I think you can also like sign in with other things as well, potentially Google. And so when you create a Repl.it account, I'll give everyone a few seconds to do that. The next step is to link your Repl.it account link your Exorcism account in a Repl.it REPL. So I'm going to pull up a REPL and show you guys how to do that quickly. Just to make everything easier, I'm going to be using a Python REPL, but I would really encourage you guys to use, again, a language you don't know very well. So I'm going to put a few of those in the chat. So there are a few suggestions for languages. All of those are functional programming languages, so I'm a bit biased. But if you're really having trouble picking a language, you can just create any REPL and then literally scroll. The REPL will give you all the potential languages you can use, and you can literally just scroll and pick one. Go, Lua are also good good things to try. Dart, R, Kotlin. So I'll add those suggestions. And these languages all have pretty extensive resources, so it's easy to get set up with them. So I'm creating my Python REPL, and now I'm going to share it with you guys. So hopefully you've created an Exorcism account by now. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. Okay. So I'm going to be sharing this window. Okay. So hopefully that worked well. Okay, so this is just a blank Python REPL at the moment. I'm going to navigate to the shell, and the first thing I'm going to type in is exorcism. And so this will prompt Nix to install it locally. So it's going to do that quickly. Okay, so now it's installed. And what we have to do next is get set up with our API key. So I'm going to send you guys a link. So this is the link to getting our exorcism set up locally. You'll see it says configuration, and you can go to your settings page and run this command, and your settings page will tell you what your API token is. So I'm going to paste this link in, and I'm also going to show you how to do it with my API key. Obviously, I'm going to be showing you my API key, so please don't use my API key, but I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to just copy and paste it for you guys to see. So then we have to do exorcism configure -- token equals. So what I'm going to do here is exorcism configure -- token equals, paste in my token, just like that. Okay, and you can see that worked. So now let's just change this to Python exorcism, or maybe just exorcism. So I'm going to rename my REPL. Okay, I already have a REPL. So Py exorcism. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do, or second to last thing, okay, let me just clear my shell. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is we need to change the workspace in exorcism. So we're going to do exorcism configure -- workspace equals, and now just do tilde / and then the name of where you're working. So Py exorcism. Okay, that worked. So if there are any questions in the chat, let me quickly check. Okay, it doesn't seem like we have any questions so far, so that's good. Now, if you run the exorcism command, everything should be working. So it will give you all the possible things you can do. So now what you want to do is you want to go into exorcism, and this is your exorcism account. Okay, so you want to press tracks. Hopefully that's showing properly. Okay, so whatever language you chose to do this in, you're going to find that track. So Pharaoh is actually another really good language. I'm not sure if Repl.it supports it though. So I'm going to do Python. Obviously, we want you to do a new language, but I'm just doing Python. So make sure to click these 3 dots here. And okay, so first you want to join the track if you've not joined the track. Sometimes it will sort of automatically put you in learning mode. See, I'm in practice mode right now. So if you're in learning mode, there will be an option to switch to practice mode. And practice mode lets you attempt any problem you want. See, all of these circles are a different problem you can try. If you go into learning mode, you have to do them in order. So the whole point of this is we want to see who can solve the most problems So easy problems will count for 1 point, medium problems for 2, so medium problems somewhere here, and hard problems for 3. So if you want to sort of be as efficient as possible and do all hard problems, then you want to make sure you're in practice mode so you can immediately attempt these super hard problems. I'm just going to do a simple hello world to show you how this works. So here we have a description of the problem. And so there's this little thing here that says work locally via the client. So I copy that. Let me go back into my Replit here. Okay. So I just paste this command like that. And suddenly I have this Python folder here. So I can go to the hello world problem. And so there's a lot of stuff here. It's a description of the problem, or a description of how to use tests. So a description of the problem as well. I think it's easier to just use the description exorcism gives. And also, these aren't going to be super, super complicated. So you might just want to ignore the tests and not waste any time on them. But there's instructions to help you with that if you'd like. And so the basic structure is we have a test file and then an actual code file. So the code file needs to solve the problem. Right now it says goodbye Mars. So to solve the problem, we'll make it say hello world. So that's saved. And now all we have to do to submit is exorcism submit. And so we're going to go back to that file, hello world.py. Okay, your solution has been submitted successfully. You can view it at, so just click the link. And so we can see here, my solution looks good. Hello world has passed all the tests. So that would count as 1 point for me because I just solved this problem. And so if we go back to the overall track view, it should show that, okay, I guess it doesn't show here that it's completed, but basically the way you're going to show this to us is you're going to take screenshots of all the past tests that you get, and I guess I can mark it as complete. Sure. Okay, so now I can mark it as complete. And now you can take a screenshot, I think, of the overall track view, or if that doesn't work, of the individual problem view to show us that you've completed this problem. And then we're going to provide a form. So here it is. I've completed it. We're going to provide a form at the end to take a screenshot. And the person with the most points will, or the top 3 with the most points will be able to get hacker prizes. So yeah, that's the basic idea. I know I went a little quickly through that just because I want everyone to be able to get set up and start playing around with it. The one thing we ask is, I'm sure some of you have heard of exorcism before. Please try to do a language that you haven't already completed some stuff on, because that would give you an unfair advantage. That's the only thing we ask. Anyway, if you have used that language before, the whole point of this is to use a different language. So that's basically everything.
So we have a question in the chat saying, will there be a written version of this? So
we didn't prepare a written version because there are not too many steps. If you have like a specific question, if you just want to put that in the chat, then we can answer it. If it would be helpful, I can quickly run through what you need to do again. So it's pretty simple. Just type in exorcism. Nix will prompt you to install it. After that, you want to follow that link that Anjali sent over here. Exorcism docs solving exercises working locally, and that will direct you to getting your API key. And so then you can just do exorcism configure -- token equals. Then you finally want to just set up your workspace, which is exorcism configure -- workspace equals, and set it equal to the home directory, so PyExorcism in my case. And then you just go to the problem, copy the code to download. It will download the files, and then you just exorcism submit. I can try and put that in. If you want, I can try to quickly whip something up that is a written version of that. That would be helpful. But if you have a specific question, I think that would be easier for us to answer.
Yeah, so towards the end, we'll be sending out the link to the Google form where you can submit your exorcism the exorcism things that you solved, and we'll be looking at it, and then we'll let you know who won.
Yep. And so just to sort of as a sort of background, Anjali and I will just be solving some of the exorcism problems in Python. We expect that nobody's going to be submitting Python, and we're not really going to be accepting Python because most people know Python, and the whole point of this is to branch out into other languages. But we're just going to be practice submitting solutions while you guys are working. So feel free to turn the volume down probably until around 1, when we'll sort of ask everyone to submit their stuff. We're just going to be going through potential solutions. And if it would be useful to just watch our workflow a little bit, then that's great. But if not, you can just mute us or whatever, turn down the volume.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let's see. Also note that there are, I think you can probably see this, the first like 10 are learning exercises, so they're super simple. So if you want to just start at actual problems, so for example, the problem to reverse a string. So let's see. I actually have not worked with Python in a while, so this will be a good refresher of skills for me. So I literally just copy that and it will download into the Python track. And let's see, Python, okay, reverse string. Okay, so are we ready in Python here? Okay, so this is already a Python console. Let's see, as far as I remember, you can just do something like this, right? Yeah, okay. This is a nice way to reverse a string in Python. A lot of the languages I suggested are not imperative, so something like this wouldn't really work. Oh, and look, I have Ghostwriter helping me. That would actually be cool. Let's see. Reverse a string. Okay. Maybe if I prompt it with return. Yep. Okay. So did that pretty well. And yeah, that's Ghostwriter, which is Replit's new AI code completion tool. It can also like generate code. So write a function to reverse a string. I think this will actually be pretty cool. So I'm going to try and use Ghostwriter as much as possible in my solutions. Okay, so it got the reverse part right, but it included this as part of a palindromic sort of tester. It's not what I asked for, but. So again, I can do exorcism submit. And let's see, pi exorcism reverse string.pi. Reverse string.pi. So I'm going to take a look at my solution there. Hopefully it's passed all the tests. Okay, it doesn't seem like we have any more questions at the moment. Anjali, is my like voice and audio video okay? Because I think I might have frozen. Okay, I just want to. Okay, let me try to see if it passed the tests. Okay, looks like we passed the tests, so mark that as complete. The reason that you have to like manually mark it as complete is another really cool thing about exorcism is it allows you to continually refine your solutions, because often your first solution isn't going to be the most elegant way to do it or the most idiomatic way to do it. It's probably also not going to be the most efficient way to do it either. So it's nice that you're able to refine those solutions. And what's even better actually is that exorcism has a group of mentors who are experienced in your language, and you can sort of ask them for their help and their opinions to make your solution better. So we probably won't have time to effectively use that tool today in this 1 hour. Usually that's something you're going to use over a couple days or a couple weeks to iteratively refine your solution. But if you are liking exorcism after this, then hopefully you do take advantage of that tool. When I learned Clojure personally, you made use of that a lot, and it really improved my Clojure code. So let's go and try something else. Okay, raindrops looks kind of interesting.
Rohan, someone's asking if you can go over the running tests again.
Once we do exorcism download. Okay. Sure. So once you do exorcism download, so you should have, hopefully the file appears here. So if you're doing Python, it will be the language name and then the problem. So then you go into the problem file, and there will be two files of that language. One will be a test file. One will be a actual file where you write your solution. Personally, I think that for this, we can just ignore the test file. This is like if you want to be, write your code in a super if you want to write your code extremely well, like adhering to unit tests and stuff like that, this is really just meant for fun and exploration. So I would really just ignore this file completely unless you really want to, and you already have knowledge of how to use unit tests in Python or your language. You just want to write your solution in the file that says problem name.py or .clj or whatever your language is. And then when you think your solution is correct, you type into the shell exorcism submit the path to this file. So that's just going to be your home directory, pyexorcism -python file -problem file hello world.py in this case, and then it should return you this URL, and you can go to that URL and it will tell you if you've passed the test or not. If you haven't passed the test, you need to go back and try again and see what went wrong. So does that explanation make sense? Hopefully. I'm not seeing a response in the chat, so I'm just going to keep going on, but please tell me if that doesn't make sense, and then I will try to help with that. Or if you just want to privately sort of chat, send me a message in the chat. That's also okay.
Okay, so to get exorcism on your REPL, are you supposed to download exorcism and then
you literally just have to type? Yeah, you just have to type. If you just type exorcism, then for me, I've already downloaded it. Even if you haven't downloaded it, Replit will just ask you, I don't recognize this package. Would you like me to download it? So you can literally just type exorcism. You don't need to download, and it will download automatically. Then it will say, do you want Nix to install this in your .nix file? Just press Y for yes.
Okay.
And then, yeah. So going back to the raindrops problem, it says your task is to convert a number into a string that contains a raindrop sounds corresponding to certain potential factors.
So if you'd like, I can go through what Rohan just said about like typing Y and stuff, if you still don't get it.
Yeah, I can also just like if you want to just see what it looks like if you start from scratch.
Yeah.
I'll do that again.
Okay.
I can do that in another language too, just to show you that it will work. Like if I go to Haskell. Probably work the same, I hope. So exorcism. Okay, so it's saying exorcism has not been installed. Would you like to run exorcism from your from Nix and install it in your replit.nix file? I literally just put Y. So it's gonna set everything up. Okay. So now the next thing you do is you use that link I sent, and you go exorcism --configure token equals, put in your API token. And then you do the same thing, exorcism --configure workspace equals, and then in this case our workspace is those useless fonts. So that's what I would type there, and then you just download the problem. Okay, so.
Yeah, so if you have any more questions, you can just write in the comments and we'll answer them.
So going back to this, the one thing about exorcism is often their problems have like a background to them, so it takes a minute to understand a factor. Okay, the simplest way. Okay, so I guess it actually has nothing to do with raindrops. Okay, so has a factor of 3, add pling to the result. Has a factor of 7, add plong to the result. 28 has a factor of 7, but not 3 or 5, so the result would be plong. Pling, plang. 34 is not factored, so the result would be 34. Okay, I think I get it. So let's download that. I can sort of think of a just very simple solution using if statements to figure this out. I'm not sure if that's the only solution, which it seems like it is to me, but I feel like there could also be something more elegant. So okay. Raindrops. Just give me. Okay. Yeah. So like what I think we were gonna say is, let's see if we can do this with generate code with Ghostwriter. So write a function that determines if a number has a factor of 3, or what is the order they give us? So order is 3, 5, or 7. Has a factor of 3, 5, or 7, or if it has none of these as factors. Okay, so I actually haven't used this directly generating code that much with Ghostwriter. I mostly just use it in comments. Okay, so we are using a has factor function, but we haven't actually done that yet. Maybe it's better if I do this. Okay, number. Okay, so this is right. I haven't really told it what to return yet. So that's what we'd expect. Okay, so this is actually a kind of a nice way to sort of get rid of the super simple things we need to do. So one cool thing that I like that Ghostwriter did here is I was wondering whether it would try and write else if statements. The problem with that is we might have a number that's divisible by both of these numbers. So if we do an else if idiom, then that will never get reached. Like if we have a number that's divisible by 3 and 5, 15, if we used else ifs, then as soon as we reach 3, we would just end. So I mean, the return thing here, that's not right, but I didn't really tell it like specifically how we're going to format our answer. So it got all of this stuff correct. So I'm just going to remove this for now because it's kind of getting in the way. But let's see. We can say answer equals a blank string. If we're divisible by 3, we want our answer to have appended to it a pling, I believe. Or yeah, pling, plang, plong. Okay. Otherwise, we want to have it. One thing we could do to make this a little more nice is in Python, zeros or ones are directly interpreted as Booleans. So we could just say so basically this means when this is 0, we want to run this. That's why we have to put a not. Unless I'm making a mistake, I think that should work. And it looks a little nicer, in my opinion. Okay. So we're going to plus equals plong, plang, sorry. Answer plus equals plong. And otherwise, we just return. Okay, so this is the one thing we do have to figure out. So return, I can say return answer if answer doesn't equal an empty string. Because if it equals an empty string, that means it's not factors of any of these things. Otherwise, we'll return number. So this is a ternary, logic expression here that you can do in Python. Instead of explicitly writing an if statement, we just put this all in one line to make it a little more concise. So this would be equivalent to saying if answer doesn't equal an empty string, return the answer, otherwise return number. So I feel like that will work, but I might have made a slight error somewhere along the way. So let's see what exorcism tells me. What is it saying? Unknown command. Oh, I forgot to put submit. Okay. Did we pass the tests? Okay, we did not pass all the tests. Let's see. Convert one. Okay. So we actually have to return the string of the number. Try that again. What's it saying? Okay, great. We passed everything. So let's mark that as complete. Okay. Actually, sort of like the view when we go to the track directly. So let's just navigate back there. See, there doesn't seem to be any more questions, so I'm just going to keep forging ahead. Let's see. Something interesting. OCR numbers. Maybe we'll do one more easy before we attempt a medium. Well, let's try the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. I feel like that might be slightly difficult, but let's see. Okay. So it says, right, Alice and Bob use this Diffie-Hellman key exchange to share secrets. They start with prime numbers, pick private keys, generate and share public keys, and then generate a shared secret key. So the test program supplies prime numbers P and G. So let's just download this first. You can really see what it's saying here. So where did that go? Okay. Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Okay, so this is going to be a little more complicated, we can tell already, because the template it's giving us is a bit more complicated. So Alice picks a private key A greater than 1 and less than P. Bob does the same to pick a private key B. Alice calculates a public key A. Okay. Just curious. Okay. So this talks about how random is pseudo-random and we probably shouldn't use it, but to make things easier, we'll use it. So let me go back to see up here. What do we need to do? Alice picks a private key A greater than 1 and less than P. Okay, so to generate a private key, so let's just play around with random a little bit over here. I forget I can't do that. So import random, random.random. I just generate that. I feel like that generates something between 0 and 1. Random.randint 10. Okay, so I need to provide a range. Something between 5 and 10. Okay. So basically all we need to do here is return okay. So all our imports we put here. Rand int. This is the only thing we need to import as of right now. Return rand int 1 between less than P. So let's see, a nice way to test this is if I say 9 and 10, can we generate 10? Yeah, we can. So we can do that. That's greater than 1, and less than P. So we really want it to be the range of 2 to P minus 1 because we don't want 1 to be selected. Okay, so that's good. I forgot to do my ghostwriter. Let's see, return. Can I figure that out? Return a number greater than 1 and less than P. Yep, that's that very well. It realized what I took a few minutes to realize, which is that we need 2 and P minus 1, not just 1 to P. So that's great. Now let's move on to the public key part. Alice calculates a public key A. Okay. Using the same P and G. Okay, so calculate return G to the whatever the private key is. So in Alice's case, that's A. Return G raised to private mod P. I don't know if that's descriptive enough. Okay. Do we have to import math to use POW? No, I guess not. But it definitely doesn't take 3 arguments, right? Okay, it does take 3 arguments. A clever thing we can do in Python is call help on POW to see why does it take 3 arguments. Oh, wow. So wait. Oh, wow, I didn't even know it did that. So apparently, POW has a format where we can do base exp mod. So actually, this is the most elegant way to write this out. I was thinking we'd have to do something along the lines of like that. That's obviously not as elegant as that. So this is another, so both for both of these functions, actually, Ghostwriter has come up with something better than I would have initially, which is very nice to see. Let's go back. Okay, Alice and Bob exchange public keys. Alice calculates the secret key S. Bob calculates, okay, so Alice's secret key will be Bob's public key raised to her public key, or sorry, raised to her secret key, mod P. So let me just write that down. So Alice's secret key is her public key raised to the private key mod P. Okay, wow. That's very nicely done. Wait, let me get that back. So is her public key, let me just check that that's right. Her public key, oh, no, not her public key, is the public key. It's Bob's public key. It's the public key raised to her private key, mod P. Yep. And so let's just say is Bob's public key raised to her private key, mod P. So obviously this is going to be like when Ghostwriter was trained, this is probably a problem it came across very often, so it was even able to complete the problem description for us. But I believe that this should be correct. It's cool to see how Ghostwriter was able to help with all that. I mean, admittedly, it was pretty simple, but it did craft a more elegant solution than I would have found initially. Great. Let me just see if I can scroll back up. Okay. I'm gonna have to type out this whole. Okay, so pi exorcism. I don't type something wrong. Pi exorcism, Python, Diffie. Okay, Diffie Hellman exchange. Or is it just called Diffie Hellman? Yeah, just Diffie Hellman. Slash Diffie Hellman.py. Okay, did I type everything right? Looks like I did. I'm feeling pretty good about this. And yes, with Ghostwriter's help, we passed that on the first try. So that's great. Again, I'm just going to go explicitly to the tracks view because I like looking at the problems as these little bubbles. Okay, maybe it's time to try something medium. I'm going to try and pick something that I feel like I can solve, but no promises. Spiral matrix is actually deceptively hard. Okay, you know what? I'm going to try and solve spiral matrix using, actually, I've solved this in other languages, and I'm sort of dubious if I can solve it in Python. If I brought up the other code, I might be able to translate something. Maybe I'll choose something slightly before that. Refactor a markdown parser sounds kind of cool. Oh, it's refactoring. Let's try and do something where we can write everything ourselves. Okay, this is a sort of weird problem, but generate the lyrics of the song I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. Well, you could copy and paste the lyrics or read them from a file. This problem is much more interesting if you approach it algorithmically. This is a cumulative song of unknown origin. Okay, maybe this is not the best problem to do right now that I'm looking at it. It's going to require, I mean, they say approach it algorithmically. It's going to require some degree of hard coding. Well, actually, maybe we'll try it. It's kind of a strange problem, but I guess it would be a little interesting to attempt. Food chain. Okay. Recite. I wonder what a ghostwriter will do if I say, generate the lyrics to the song. I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. Swallowed a fly. Oops. Let's see. Okay, lost. So admittedly, this is like an extremely strange request to give it. So what I'm thinking we can do is, if you just quickly take a look at the song, everything. Okay, so every verse ends with, I don't know why she swallowed a fly, perhaps she'll die. So that's a common theme. We also know that the first two lines are going to depend on the animal. So I know an old lady who swallowed a, then the animal. And then each animal has a sort of unique sort of catchphrase. So cat is imagine that to swallow a cat. Dog is what a hog to swallow a dog. Goat is just opened her throat and swallowed a goat. So I feel like we can do this with a simple dictionary. So we'll call the dictionary key phrases, or animal to phrase. So fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll die. Okay, so that's going to be the catchphrase for that. Oh, that is nice. So wait. So Ghostwriter has seen this before in some form. Okay, wait, I think it's going off script now. Monkey, I don't think there's a monkey in the song. Is there? No. So it got the first stuff right. So how it's just opened her throat and swallowed a goat. Is that right? Oh no, so it sort of messes up after goat. Just opened. Oh, okay. Her throat and swallowed a goat. Okay, so that's cool that Ghostwriter got some of it right. That was way more than I was expecting it to. I didn't think it would have any clue what we were doing. Just opened her throat and swallowed a goat. Did I put a comma in there? Yeah. And I think it's just horse is the last animal. No cow. I don't know how she swallowed a cow. I know an old lady who swallowed a horse. She's dead, of course. Okay. I know an old lady who swallowed a cow. I don't know how she swallowed a cow. Let me just copy that. So cow goes to, I don't know how she swallowed a cow. Horse. She's dead, of course. Okay, so that actually went easier, more quickly than I thought it would. Let me close that out here. Hopefully that gives you guys a better view of what I'm having. Let's see all the code at once. On a line. Okay. Oh, one thing I did not remember though is, what was the function? I'm going to quickly undo this so we can see what the function actually was that we're supposed to use here. Okay, a recite function. So our function is recite. Start verse, end verse. I don't know what it means by start verse, end verse. Wait, that's actually a good point. We should take a look at what the inputs to this are. Okay, so we get an I don't know. I know an old lady who swallowed a spider and wriggled and jiggled and tickled her cider. Recite 3-3, recite 2-2, recite 1-1. I'm not sure what. It's giving us some numbers. Okay, so we're generating each of the individual verses. So recite 1-3. I'm just trying to think about what that means. Wait, I'm going to open this up too. Wait. Open a separate pane for that. Okay. Just give me a quick minute. I'm going to try and set this up. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm just trying to see. When we do 1, 3, that's the start verse, end verse. So I know a lady who swallowed a fly. Oh, I see. So this is starting from 1 and going to the end. Let me turn that off. Okay, sorry. Okay, I think I get it now. Okay, so recite will take a start verse and an end verse. I think we should just have a recite verse function. So let's see. Each verse needs to associate to an animal. So verse to animal. That should be a dictionary, I believe. So first verse concerns our fly. Second verse concerns the bird. Cat, dog, goat, cow, horse. Okay, again, Ghostwriter is nicely completing all of this for us. I just want to check something. I thought they went all the way up to 8 in the examples. Is that true? Or am I misremembering? They did go all the way up into 8. Wait, so the first verse introduces the fly. Spider, bird is 3, cat is 4, dog is 5, goat is 6, cow is 7, horse is 8. So did I forget something? Fly. Maybe we didn't put spider in there. I think, yeah, Ghostwriter might have forgotten to add that. It just went directly to bird. It wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside of her. That's right. It wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside of her. Okay. So 2 was actually going to go to spider. 3 will be bird. 4 will be cat. 5 will be dog. 6 will be goat. 7 will be cow. 8 will be horse. Let's delete that. Okay, that's nice. So we've made some progress. Now, let's see. I guess what we can say is verse number. Okay, we're going to try to refresh. How do we get the keys of a dictionary in Python? I think it's step 2 item, maybe.
The keys of a dictionary?
Yeah.
It should be just dot keys.
Okay, and then we just have to format that as a list. So
Yeah, you can just write that in a list function.
Let's see. If we're given a verse number, we can max number as keys. So if we're given a verse number greater than the max number, there is actually I like Ghostwriter's response there. I cannot go on. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to that. There are not that many verses to the song. I mean, actually, I don't think it's going to test us with cases that are greater, so I guess that's kind of unnecessary. But if our verse number is equal to our max number, so I feel like this should be recursive in some sense, because if it is equal to the max number, then we just return. So first line of every verse takes an animal, and it just returns. So what I'm doing here is, I think most of the other code is easy to follow. Here I'm just going to use an F string, which is a nice way to, let's see, in that format. I know a lady who swallowed N. Oh, okay. A fly, A spider. Do we have to do N? Okay, no, everything will be A. That would have added some more complexity. I know a lady who swallowed A, so it does that for every animal. Okay, I just noticed it's 12:50 also, so probably after this problem, do we want to distribute the form so everyone can submit what they have?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We can start wrapping up after this one.
Okay. I don't know if we'll be able to get through the whole thing, but maybe I can at least continue coding till 1, and then we'll see where we are there. So if the verse number equals the max number, so I feel like we'll probably have to add another parameter here to make this recursive, but I'll just continue as we're going right now. If verse number equals max number, we get the first line. First animal equals first animal verse number. Okay. So we return first line, sorry, of our animal that we got. Plus, and we can just directly plus because everything ends in a new line character here. Plus animal to phrase. Animal to phrase of animal. Okay, so we avoid computing that twice. Let's do this up here too. So line equals first line animal. Phrase equals animal to phrase. I'm a little lagging here. Animal to phrase animal. Separate that like this. So, and now I can just return line plus phrase. Else. So otherwise, let's see. So if we assume that we give this 1, let me just check back to see what it looks like here. Or if first number equals 1, return line plus phrase. Okay, let me think about this for a minute. This can generate the new stuff, and we have to add it onto it. So first 2 lines. We can break this up into 2 functions. So if I recite verse, let's see, what do I want to do is I want to keep going down till I get to 1, I suppose. Okay, so this is to build up to a single verse. Let me just think about this for a second. Wait, maybe I don't need to do that. Sorry. So if I want to recite the last verse, I do it that way. If I want to recite the first verse, I do it that way. Otherwise, I should just be able to, let's see, return recite verse of verse number -1. Line plus phrase. Okay, that's what Ghostwriter is suggesting in this case, and I do think that's what's right. So let me just check. Can I import food chain directly? Maybe I'll set them. Yeah. Go to Python food chain. Set something here and try and import food chain. Will that work? Okay. So let's see if I want to recite verse number 1. I have to do that to import everything. I forgot to do that. Recite verse number 1. I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll die. That's right. I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. Okay, wait. That's perhaps she'll die. Is that right? No. Okay, wait. For verse 2, we should. Okay, this order is slightly wrong. We want the actual thing we're starting with to be first. Let's try importing again. Just gonna move that up a bit. Hopefully that will zoom in. Let's see. Can I import? Yep. Okay, recite verse 1. Good. Okay, verse 2. I know the lady who swallowed. Okay, swallowed is wrong there. Swallowed. It shouldn't start with a fly anymore, should it? Did it not maybe register that I imported again? Let me just try and restart the whole thing. From food chain import, recite verse. I know an old lady who swallowed a spider. It wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside her. Okay, so yeah, we have to change that soon. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. Okay, so we have to change this a bit. Elif first number equals max number. So that's the case if we just put in verse 1, but we want it to be slightly different. Okay, we want it to be slightly different if we've called other calls before it. So by default, we'll say that's true. Let's see. Equals 1, and it's the first call. This is getting to be a little nested for my taste. So I'm sure there's a slightly better way to do this, but this is what I'm going to do for right now, since we don't have too much time. So if it's the first call, we do that. Otherwise, well, I guess this logic would hold the same for everything, right? Yeah. So maybe I don't have to do this. Else, elif first call. So if it's the first call, that. For if it's 1, we're going to have to specifically end there. So there may need to be a specific case for 1. Actually, I think the best way to do this is first number. It's slightly inelegant, though. I don't know if I want to have to put a if statement at the top. Okay, so it seems like we're getting kind of close on time. I mean, I could have just written code to solve this. I'm trying to be mindful of how we can make this with as little if statements and as elegantly as possible. So we would need to add some other condition here to test for 1. But because we're sort of getting low on time, I think we should probably just send out the form, and then I'll keep solving a bit till 1:05-ish while people do their submissions. So here's what I would recommend doing. Go to, I think you may be able to actually mark things as complete even if you haven't finished them yet. Let me just check if you can do that. Okay, you can. So I think if you just send us your progress here, and I believe that it will tell us the color. Okay, it might not tell us the color actually. So if you've what you can do is either send us this and we can go into your language and figure out whether it was easy, medium, or hard, or if you want to actually go into everyone and then take a picture of it. I feel like it's probably just easiest to do a quick screenshot of what this looks like here. So just screenshot what your thing looks like and then upload it via the Google form. So Anjali, you want to send that?
Yeah, I already sent it.
Okay. Is it in the chat?
So some people are confused, so I made like a Google Doc, and I made like the general instructions. So this will actually be due tomorrow at 12 p.m. So then,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. So then you guys, I guess, people continue to work on those in the meanwhile. Hopefully, like the Python stuff has given you a sort of an idea of how this all works. But yeah, we're really excited to see the languages you chose to use and how many solutions you get and stuff like that. So if there aren't any other questions, I guess we can sort of sign off. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I guess just thanks for engaging with us and Replit. I think that like hopefully you can see that Replit and exorcism is a pretty easy combo and also a pretty powerful combo. So I hope you make the best use of it if you decide to learn any new languages. But yeah, we're really happy that you guys chose the time to join us today. I don't know if Anjali or Varun, do you want to add anything?
I just want to add thank you guys for abiding by our community values. As Rohan said, participating with Replit. As you've seen today, Replit is extremely powerful with what it's capable of doing. So we really do look forward to seeing which languages you guys decided to sort of explore, to work with. And yeah, that's all I have.
Sorry, I had like a literal internet issue back there. So are we ending it now?
Yeah, I think we're good to go ahead and end the broadcast.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today.